Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. My name is Masterofroflness, and welcome to another game of Planetary.Annihilation.Gamma. Today, we have a game using the multi-planet build, which will allow players to spawn on different planets in the solar system. And also speaking, I shouldn't say multi-planet build anymore, because this will be the namestay of Planetary Annihilation. Become very common for you to see multi-planet spawn. So anyway, we have Mr. Black, Mr. Orange, and Mr. Yellow on one planet known as Becker. And we have Bitter Vet, which has Mephilotis, Infrabase, which is Mr. Red, and Mephilotis, who's Mr. Green. We have Orb, who's Mr. Purple, and Blue, who's Merid 4. Anyway, so this is a similar system to all the other systems that we've played on. 2 planets, which are usually 300 to 400 scale, with 2 orbiting moons, allowing for planet smashing domination. I seem to like this system a lot more than other systems, and my co-players do agree with me as well, due to the fact that this game is very unstable at the moment and thus cannot handle the awesomeness of multi-planet spawns, and as such, we should limit the amount of planets on screen as possible. And on top of that, the 300 to 400 radius does allow for the rendering of games more easily, while also having enough leg room for people to expand and have some decent sized battles, not just commander rushes all over the place. Anyway, we do see Bert Custard moving forward to try and actually rush Mr. Edge over here. Mr. Edge, watch out, Bert Custard. He's ready or not ready to seek and find you. Be careful, he's ready. He is like the stingray who was underneath Steve Irwin, ready to pounce, sleeping for 1,000 years, and then finally stabbed him through the heart. That was a very dark example, but at the same time, effective nonetheless. I will keep my screen on the smaller planet, in fact, the larger planet in question, because this will be a very turtle-esque planet, while Orange and Black battled it out using their commanders. Seems like Mr. Black has lost his bot factory, thus his only way of producing military units, and Mr. Black has made the fatal error of actually using his commander to uber cannon a double barrel laser tower, thus losing a ton of health due to this fruitless attack, and on top of that, losing tons and tons of energy that could have went towards producing his base out a lot more economically and militarily. Over here we see Yellow building bot factories with his air fabricators, using a lot more energy than he should, but alas, it will not matter. Mr. Orange over here is doing the right thing, using his walled double barrel laser tower to do the majority of the damage on the Centurion commander, while his commander supports. Black has made a fatal mistake at trying to fight off this laser defense tower with his commander, as well as with his stingers and other variety of units. In fact, he didn't even use those other units. He just used his commander to attack the double barrel laser defense tower, which had walls to protect it, and allowed Orange to gain the upper hand. Black should have backed off, built a pelter. He should have instead walked around and attacked the double barrel laser defense tower. He shouldn't have wasted his time using uber cannons, and honestly, he, at the last point of his sort of life, he should have just walked into Orange's base and blew it up. Kamikaze it. So now this planet is now between Burnt Custard and Yellow is doing a fairly good job at expanding. He has a ton of mexes, a ton of power plants, and a better eco than Orange. However, if Orange gets tier 2 a lot faster, or if he does a lot of good attacks on Yellow will fall farther and farther behind. And also on top of that, Orange doesn't have any defenses, so Yellow could just build a bunch of bumblebees and attack Orange's fabricators and his structure subsequently. Anyway, we're going to switch over the screen to the main big planet now. This is now the big main planet, due to the fact that there's now 4 players instead of 3, and more action that will come about from that fact. Now the players have gone orbital just yet. We have 2 players who are going orbital factory, and we have a third one going tier 2, who is building a ton of walls right now. Infrabase seems to be going with walls a lot more effectively. He's doing a very good job at expanding compared to his other times that he has scouted in the past. However, he should be doing a better job at expanding over here. And I meant to say expanding, not scouting. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit dumb and tipsy. Anyway, we see an Orca being built. Yellow and Orange still don't know that each other exists, except for the fact that Mr. Orange has a Firefly over there, just scouting out Yellow's base, seeing if he's doing any illegal activities. Green is going with a naval build and going for Orcas very early on. He could actually potentially hit orange, and maybe even blue, which is actually a pretty good strategy if he needs to actually rely on the naval side of the game. And he has a ton of mexes to choose from. Look at all these mexes. He can catapult off of this quite nicely. The tier 2 from red, however, could allow red to actually destroy green due to the fact that green doesn't have a lot of units to choose from early on in the game, and that tier 2 will be very, very deadly indeed. We see that the single laser defense tower was just almost nearly complete for purple, but alas, red will be able to stop this entire expansion. However, Mr. Purple going for red's defenses. Dirty boy indeed, but is going to lose some health. Now, if he does build a double laser defense tower, yes, he will be able to build a double barrel laser defense tower really fast. He could build up a bunch of walls and focus on the commander, thus making purple slowly lose his health. There we go, the same mistake that Mr. Edge was doing. He's losing way too much health, and because the double laser defense towers are now being built, it's just going to be really stupid for him to actually attack with his commander. So there goes Purple's hopes and dreams of conquering that area. Red has that firmly in his control, and right now the teleport is coming out from Purple. Purple's also going to expand it to the moon very fast into the game, actually, compared to how fast I go, which is at a snail's pace when it comes to expanding Orbital. Blue is going to build some umbrellas, pretty good. Advanced Air Factory, pretty solid, going for the tier 2. Good stuff. Good plays by all the players. However, I don't agree with the fast Avenger build-up, and I don't agree with the fast sort of umbrella build-up, actually, even though I do think it's a good strategy. And that's due to the fact that, well, you should really be focusing more on your tier 2, as your tier 2 is way more important. On top of that, I would also like to add that the umbrella is right now very useless because of one key factor. Laser platforms are not yet built by anybody and cannot be built by anybody yet, as they consist of too much energy to produce them. See that green is trying to push out against red, who's built a pelter by building his double barrel laser tower, and he will be able to actually destroy one wall, but alas, the pelter will slowly whittle away at his base, and green will have to basically become much like Aquaman, go back into the sea with his Atlantean brothers and expand into the sea, building a huge naval empire. Let's go back to the other planet, and we see that Mr. Yellow is building up a ton of tier 1 ships, but alas, it is not enough, as the commander is here, ready and wait, and as Uber Cannon does shit out of that tier 1 naval unit. However, the commander himself is very weak, having not healed up since his last encounter with Black, so Yellow has a good shot of killing the commander if he just focuses in on that one commander. Burnt Custard is betting a lot on this sort of commander play right now, and there goes the bumblebees. No support coming in from any of Yellow's units at all. Very strange indeed. If Yellow even sends in his commander, he could actually destroy Orange's commander right over here. So Yellow is missing out on a golden opportunity right now. He's not attacking Orange's commander with his own commander. He's not sending in a huge assortment of units to attack Orange's commander. Instead, he's letting Orange's commander just fall like right up to his base over here and just kind of chilling out. He's still focusing on the naval factory, but really you should be focusing on the commander, considering it's so darn weak right now. The naval factory has way too much health. All of Burnt Custard's resources are going into this naval factory, so this could be GG for Burnt Custard's economy. However, keep this in mind that Burnt Custard is a very smart player, and he's going to rush out this Leviathan as soon as he can, because he knows why did I say cans? As soon as he can, because he knows that if he gets this Leviathan out, Yellow has nothing to answer for it. And indeed, he has nothing. There we go. There goes any hope of Yellow actually winning now. He focused too much on the naval factory. Instead, should have focused on the commander a lot more, sending in his commander a lot earlier. And on top of that, he should have... Did those missiles just go out into space? They did go out into space. On top of that, he should have sent in units a lot more earlier, and in fact, he should have built a lot more units in general. I see no units coming out from him military-wise. He is now getting his eco up, tier 2 eco, which is good and all, but he's so close to Burnt Custard that why does he have tier 2 eco? He should really have tier 2 military units. He should have had some air units. Why did he build a tier 2 bot factory? That's actually very curious. He should have built a tier 2 air factory, if anything. I mean, this continent over here is kind of excluded from this continent, so it's not like he can walk all the way there, kind of like Jesus, and walk on water. So I'm not sure why he actually did that. That's a little bit curious. Very curious indeed. So now Orange is going to spam out tier 2 structure after tier 2 structure. It doesn't matter. I mean, not tier 2 structure after tier 2 structure. Tier 2 naval unit after tier 2 naval unit. Going with Stingrays, which will annihilate Yellow's base slowly and slowly. And the Leviathan is just doing so much damage. Honestly, Yellow's missed out on golden opportunity. The bot factory was a terrible play. And on top of that, he should send in some units to the commander to support in the attack of this naval factory. I think this was all a terrible play. And oh my god! Did the commander escape? Oh my god! Did you see that? The Leviathan was able to shoot at the commander that was in the Astraeus because his missiles were in midair. Oh my god, that was a catch-22 move. I thought this would be another move by Yellow to just escape the planet and then afterwards dominate the moon and turn this entire game into a massive circle jerk. But no, instead it's not. So Bird Custer will have entire control of Becker right now. However, because Bird Custer didn't get tier 2 fast enough, he will be lagging behind economically, as well as getting orbital units fast enough. So his orbital game is very, very, very slow as well. And Merit 4 will be able to secure Bird Custer's moon. So Bird Custer will have competition and is in big, big trouble. Big trouble if Merit is able to control that moon. And Merit is also going for this moon over here after killing Orb's, presumably his orbital fabricator. So that's really, really bad for Orb. If Merit 4 controls both moons, he's going to be in a very strong position. Over here, let's focus on the main planet for a second, because no action is going to come out from any of the other planets so far. Anyway, so we see Mr. Purple going for the Hulkins, going for the Pelter spam, the double barrel laser defense tower attacks. Green is going out to sea, kind of like Aquaman, and we can also see that Red is slowly and slowly pushing upon all three of these players with a mass assortment of Pelters, Hulkins, and double barrel laser defense towers. Orb's impenetrable defense is now being thwarted by the fact that he's just surrounded by all of these players. Green is giving him a hard time, and especially Red. Once Red puts up these Hulkins, it's basically presumably GG for Purple, as Purple has nothing to really answer this Hulkins with. He has no catapults whatsoever. He has no Hulkins whatsoever. And Red also has a second Hulkins to be built. And Red also has the economy to really support the second Hulkins. However, something that Red didn't really count on is Green's naval units. And if Green is able to secure the naval side of Red's base, then what Red is going to have to fear is a tier 2 naval attack by Mr. Green. Over here, we can see that Blue is going for tier 2 naval units as well. And tier 2 naval units from Blue and from Green will be able to destroy both of these land players over here. And if Mr. Green gets tier 2 before Merit 4, or if Merit 4 gets tier 2 before Mr. Green, and what I mean by tier 2, I mean by not just the structure, but a massive amount of buildings that are tier 2. I mean, not buildings, units. Then what could happen is one of these players will, I do mean will, control this entire planet. Indefinitely, of course. So over here we can see that Mr. Orb is trying his best to contain Red and destroy him entirely with a massive amount of gillies. Unfortunately for him, however, he is losing his structures piecemeal, and these structures are actually fairly important, some consisting of advanced energy plants and some consisting of much more important structures like tier 2 mexes. In fact, I actually didn't see a tier 2 mex go down. So, you know what? Tier 2 energy plants are definitely the most important unit that he's going to lose if he actually continues losing structures like this. Hawkins is going to slowly be finished for Red over here. And the tier 3 laser defense tower is going to be built, which means that he's going to be able to secure this attack. What? What? Wait a minute. What? Orb? Did Orb capitulate? The Orb, who's won 2 games in a row, has capitulated? He has. That is for shame. Must have known that Red was just slowly encroaching upon his territory, knowing that Blue was up against his back, knowing that Green was also not going to yield to his rule. He just had nowhere to go. He was boxed in, and Red was slowly building Hulkins at a massive and alarming rate, which means that he would have been annihilated anyway, since he had no catapults and no Hulkins to speak of, like I said beforehand, to answer for it. So now this planet is going to be owned by Green, Blue, and Red. let's go over to the other moons and see what's going on. Merit 4 is going to leave to this moon, which is Kemen Theta Pi. And he's also going to control this moon. So let's keep an eye on this. And afterwards, let's see what Red's doing. Red is doing an excellent job building a ton. And I do mean a ton of tier 2 defenses. Building catapults, Hulkins, everything he can, which will allow him to slowly destroy green space. Blue over here is pushing against green by building crystals, which is actually a really good strategy. And is continuing to build tier 2, not military units, but construction units, allowing him to expand his tier 2 economy. Now, I would have liked to see a Leviathan or a Stingray being built out, because this would have allowed him to basically choke the life out of green a lot more effectively. But again, it's an effective strategy. Green sensing his defeat due to the fact that there's just so many attacks coming out from blue and red that he's possibly going to capitulate right now, and is maybe actually deciding to kamikaze himself right into red's base. If he does this and is able to kill the tier 2 advanced energy plants and maybe even a ton of other structures, then he will be able to annihilate red off of this planet presumably, and blue will be able to clean up the rest of red's dead body, and it will be a game between blue and orange, which will be a very interesting game nonetheless to see. Ooh, this is going to be very, very deadly. Mr. Green, I hope you know what you're doing, sir. You have a lot to live for, Mr. Green, Mr. Green. Ooh, didn't do as much damage as you thought he would. So now this planet is going to be between red and green, and unfortunately for green, he just was not able to kill the tier 2, and because of that, green will actually just die fruitlessly. However, all is not lost. It's now red has not focused at all on blue, and blue over here has a surprising advantage over red. Red does not have any anti-nukes. Blue is building a nuke. Blue is also building Leviathans. Blue also has a better eco, whereas red does not. Blue is expanded more. Red does not. Red is at a very, very bad position, and blue is at a commanding position. He is also building a laser defense platform. Not a laser defense platform, a laser platform. So can already see that blue is probably going to win that map. Well, not that map, that planet. Let's see orange. Orange doing good, expanding all over the place, but not getting any orbital, just now getting orbital. So it will be a game between blue and orange, unless orange is too slow to get orbitals bases up and running for this moon over here, which he could be due to the fact that blue already has a head start with his commander and everything else. Well, his commander that he's sending forward, of course. So again, let's continue focusing on this side of the planet, right now. Red is getting the nuke, but it just won't matter anymore. Now, another thing that red doesn't have is a lot of anti-air, except for this side of this base. So you know what? What red could do, not red could do, but what blue could do is basically build a ton of crystals, send them into the back of red's base, snipe his commander, win the game. Done. Well, not win the game, but win that side of the planet. Pretty good stuff indeed between both of these players. Though I will have to admit that Orb did play very poorly, but unfortunately he was backed up. I guess the saying goes, if you attack Orb very, very early on, then he won't have anything to answer for it. You gotta hit him where he hurts. I mean, hit him where it hurts. Of course. And Red's plan of, oh, there's the crystals. Oh, speak of the devil. Oh, I said it. I said this should happen. I said it was going to happen, and it will happen. Yep, focus on the flat cannons. Do what you can. Commander's over there. Commander's right over there. Oh, you sniped the nuke. Good job. Good job. Tally-ho, tally-ho. So red has no chance, and red is dead. So now the game is between blue and orange. This is going to be a very exciting map. I mean, not a very exciting map, but a very exciting match. However, orange is at a better position than blue, and that's due to one fact and one fact only. Blue over here doesn't have the whole control of the planet, and doesn't have all of the resources firmly in his control, whereas orange does. Orange also has more orbital defenses and more orbital units. However, blue has a better control over this planet due to the fact that he has more orbital units and more stuff being built there. But orange has a teleporter that can send in fabricators consistently. So yeah, it's It's going to be a hard match between both these players. The first one to Planet Smash wins, I guess. Both of these players can't nuke each other, which is very unfortunate for both of the players involved. Laser platform is being built, so something could come about that could change the entirety of this game. I have received a phone call. I will not answer this phone call at all. Do not worry about that. I will actually just focus on this game while looking at porn. So, it seems as though both players, what they need to do is just get their orbital situation under control. Blue, just fix your economy, like I said beforehand. Expand more. Expand a lot more. Now let's see how the planet's going for orange. Well, actually, he's not building as much as he should. Merit's not building at all. Not at all. He is building a factory or two, so that's pretty good. It's a step in the right direction. However, I do believe that this game will also develop into interorbital play, which is actually a very boring aspect of PA, but it could develop into that. If Merit 4 gets a ton of anchors against a ton of laser platforms, then what he could do is stage an attack on orange and attack him with the laser platforms. I'm not sure why he's going for the nuke, because the nuke doesn't matter anymore. The nuke, you can't even launch at the other planet over there, so there's no point. This is going to be a very exciting match. This is going to be a very slow match, however. Very, very slow indeed. I guess we're just counting down to when both players will just go crazy and kill each other like in Lost. Don't push the button! Push the button! Don't push the button! Push the button! Merit 4 is continuing to expand his orbital factory production, which is pretty good. However, his moon production is lacking again. However, even if one player gets Halleys before the other, it doesn't mean that the players are going to use the Halleys. Because keep this in mind, and I do mean really keep this in mind before making an assessment about who will win this game. If one player planet smashes another player and planet smashes the wrong planet that doesn't have the commander on it, what's going to happen is you're going to be in a situation where the other player can just rebuild his economy and has a planet smashing moon at his disposal in order to destroy the other player. Now, in the sort of, I guess, scenario where both planet-smashing able moons are destroyed, then it's just going to be an interplanetary war between Bittervet and Becker, in which who can spam the most wins. So right now, if we see economically, Merit 4 is behind Burnt Custard considerably, both in energy and in metal. Both are running in efficiency at 100%, so that's good. Already, the first Halley is going up. So let's see if he hits the moon. Okay, this is a bad play that Burnt Custard is doing, and you shouldn't do this. Fabrication combat bots, they actually don't speed up the construction of your structures as much as they, well, presumably should, or as people believe they do. They instead waste more energy than they do focusing on the construction of structures. So what you need to do is just focus on fabrication bots. Fabrication bots are way better than combat fabrication bots because they focus on building structures, whereas combat fabrication bots focus on building units, but don't necessarily build structures that fast. Case in point, just look at the eco drop that Burnt Custard is having right now. It's massive. But still, he has a lot of them to the point where they're being negated by the fact that there's Tier 1 fabrication vehicles, bots, and Tier 2 fabrication bots. But still, he could be producing this a lot faster if he just focused on fabrication units rather than combat units that are fabrication types. Yeah, Merit 4, if he gets hit on his moon, is going to lose the match. However, if he escapes, then it's going to be an interplanetary war. Another thing, however, if, and I do mean if, and this is a big if, he does, and I do mean he does actually kill Burnt Custard on his main planet, then this would be the most amazing turnaround I've ever seen in my entire life. But for now, Burnt Custard's at a huge commanding position. This isn't even like a slight commanding position. He's just at a super advantageous position overall. Now let's see where he plant smashes. He's escaping with his fabricators in order to save the majority of them from death. And Blue has no idea that this is coming, by the way. Oh, where's he plant smashing? The moon! Smart, so he knows. He definitely knows. Okie dokie. Let's zoom out and see where this moon is traveling to. Now let's also look at Mr. Merit 4's commander. See what he's planning to do about this. He's going to take the teleporter. Smart plan. Smart plan. He has more know-how than most players that I know of from my other games that I've casted. Go! What are you doing? Oh, Astraeus. Okay. It could be actually too late. The Haley, it's moving very fast. See, Astraeus doesn't get there in time. Oh, God. This is going to be very, very tense sort of build-up. The Astraeus go so slow. My God. Leave! Leave! This is it. This is it. Now let's see if the commander will be caught in the explosion. Or if he's escaped effectively. Hello there, Papa Bear. It's time for your morning snack. Smash. Smashing. Well, there goes Burnt Custard's moon right now. That was Haleyable, and look at that. Merit 4's moon is still intact. And his commander's intact. Some Burnt Custards miss, and because of that, Burnt Custard is at a severe disadvantage. Because now he only has one planet, and I do mean to emphasize one planet heavily, to focus on, and nothing else. He has no nukes, and only orbital units to really attack Orb with. I mean, not Orb, Merit 4 with. See, Orb has won so much that I'm just used to saying Orb. However, keep this in mind that Merit 4 actually has still a small amount of the planet scouted and expanded to, which means he still has a lot of work to do, which means God damn it! Burnt Custard has enough sort of land to build a sneaky teleporter on, as well as just overwhelming him with sheer amounts of orbital units. Considering that Merit 4 doesn't have enough orbital units to really defend his planet. Another thing, Merit 4, go to your moon now and secure it. Because since your moon is Haleyable, Burnt Custard could just use that against you if he controls it. And then you won't be able to fight against it. Well, unless you nuke it to death, which you can do. You do have a nuke over there. So this is going to be a very interesting game. Either Merit 4 races his ass over to his planet now and secures it before Burnt Custard does, or he's going to have to nuke the crap out of his moon over and over and over again till the end of time. One anchor is all he needs, by the way. One anchor. That's all. Nothing yet. Nobody's reached the planet yet. That's weird. Okay, so Merit 4 is just gonna give it up. Are you serious, dude? This is crazy. Seriously, Merit 4, you had all the opportunities to control the planet, and you're just not gonna let it go? You're just gonna let it go? You're just gonna let him colonize it? Oh god, man. Oh, you have the teleporter. Good. Good. I hope you have a ton of fabricators to support the building of this planet. You now have the orbital fabrication bot. Good. Good, good. Fabricators are on the planet, but these Avengers are in mass. And they will kill this orbital fabricator. Bye-bye. Those are a lot of Avengers, by the way. So, Merit has to do something about this. Right now, teleporter's going up. If he doesn't send in units soon to deal with this, he's going to die. In fact, let's see if Burnt Custard has a lot of military units or fabricators to send over to the other side of the teleporter. Oh, yeah, he does. He definitely does. Yep, does. Yep. Oh my god, look at all those units. Oh my god. Merit's dead. Oh, Nuke! Look at that. Look at that. The first of many nukes that will come about. He needs more anchor production. Oh well, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Again, though, this will only stall Burnt Custard. He needs to deal with the main problem, which are these orbital units. But he's just not nearly building as many orbital units to really combat this threat. Also, another thing, he doesn't have the economy to build a lot of orbital units. So right now, it's either he spams a bunch of nukes and attacks his teleport constantly, or, and get this, there's an or to this. He just sends in military units to deal with any incoming threat that comes by. But there's ghillies mixed in with this force, there's spinners. It's too late. This teleporter is being constantly healed. Oh, and anti-nuke's being built right off the bat, too. So that's just a big fuck you to Merit right now, because Merit is going to get really pissed off, as the only way to destroy this teleporter now is going to be completely destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but nullified. A lot of Merit's orbital units are being sent in, and they were able to clean up all the orbital fabricators. So if Merit actually builds a ton of defensive structures over here, he could win this. Yes, if he attacks right now with everything he got, everything he has currently, he can win this. No, keep building, Merit. Keep building. You were doing fine. You were doing fine, Merit. Merit, look at me. Look at me. You were doing fine. Or if he spams out a bunch of nuclear weapons, and get this, there is another or. He builds a laser platform. If he does it right now, he can win. The battle for this moon is going to be the biggest battle possible. And he's lost most of his fabricators. This is terrible. He should be building a lot more fabricators. He should be spamming them a lot more. Fabricators are the way to go. And now, Burnt Custard is going to build a ton of more fabricators and more hummingbirds and negate all of Merit 4's air units. This is really terrible. Because Merit 4 had all the tips and tricks to win, and now Tier 2 is coming out. You see that didn't go anywhere. So close. The laser platform needs to be built now, or a bunch of anti-nukes. I mean, not anti-nukes, but nukes. He needs to do it now, actually. The laser platform is being built. Good. But any nukes? Currently, I don't see any. I see one. Fire it. Build another one. Fire it. Like, damn it, man. Damn it. More fabricators are coming out, but it's too late. It's too late. There's too much shit, and Umbrella's being built. Yeah, okay. This place is going to be easily defendable, unless Merit 4 can distract the attention of Burnt Custard with anchors. But for now, it's over for Merid. Nuclear weapon spam is the key, though. It is also the key. And distracting those orbitals. There's just ultimately not enough production. Merid 4 is kind of like Japan in World War II. You know, he was able to win a few good battles and get a lot of advantages early on against the Americans. But unfortunately, all those battles that he's won are negated by the fact that America's production is just so much better than his own. To the fact where they can replace 15 aircraft carriers where they can only build one. Well, where Merid 4 or otherwise Japan can only build one, whereas America can only build 15 aircraft carriers. Well, can build 15 aircraft carriers. You see, I'm ruining this entire analogy. God damn it. Why do I ruin everything I touch? But you get what I'm trying to say. Merid 4 has done a lot of good stuff, but the problem is that his production just cannot keep up with the mass production of burnt custard, and burnt custard will lose. You can also then make the same parallel to industrialized Europe and Native American tribes. They have good military leaders, but alas, they can't keep up with production. Anyway, anti-nuke's going to be built, and oh, if the nuke hits this place... Oh my god, there goes all the fabricators. So that was a big fuck you, and that was a denial of the Halleys. Merid 4 is still in the game, still the big baddie of this entire sort of match right now. However, still, yet again, he just... Too much industrialization. He does have a lot of orbitals at his disposal, so maybe he's planning like a crack sort of attack right now. Merid 4 has made some great strides to increase his economic output too. Both players are actually not that far apart in terms of energy production. It's really in mechs production that it's different. And I do mean massively different. Now, if Merid 4 destroys the teleporter and destroys the tier 2 factories that are producing out fabricators, then Merid 4 will win this game. Oh, look, I got a Facebook notification. Look, I'm popular. And the reason why I say he'll win this game is because then he'll eliminate all of Burnt Custard's actual means to get over and secure the moon. As by the time Burnt Custard sends over another wave of orbital units, Merid 4 will have enough orbital units to defend the moon and his own home planet due to the fact that he's built 2 orbital factories. This play, however, is really stupid. Why are you sending over Avengers? Do you not know that this entire place is covered? You should know this by now. Focus your efforts on the moon, man. So really, Merid 4 should send in the guys right now. And these combat medics that Burnt Custard is relying upon is also a really stupid strategy. Because of this, he's wasting more energy and more production efficiency than he should. And also, it's going to be his downfall. If he does go down. Because right now, it doesn't matter what he builds. His production is just so high. I wish I could just tell Merid 4, hey, send out your units now, but I can't. He does have a massive amount of them. Like, I mean a massive amount of them. Merid 4, what are you planning? What are you devising for Burnt Custard? No! Why? You... No... This is terrible. He's trying his hardest to try and kill Burnt Custard. And this may work on normal pretenses, but right now this won't work. The reason for that is of one of two reasons. One, Burnt Custard has this entire place fortified like the Great Wall of China, equipped with M60s and frag grenades. Whereas Burnt Custard's moon planet over here isn't defended at all that much. He's also sending in half his forces and his Marine Force sending his commander to the moon? Why? There's umbrellas everywhere. That's orbital user. What? I don't get this. Why? You were safe. You were protected. You were in the Lord's hands, my son. I think I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to send his commander and his orbital units together so that he can maybe have a shot at like reclaiming the shit out of Purple's, I mean not Purple's, but Orange's base. But at the same time, he doesn't have all of his orbital units, which is something that freaks me out. Why don't you have all of your orbital units? Why send in half? He is doing a good job by building laser platforms, but still, this is a really stupid strategy. Like, you've just sent half of your orbital units to die. I hope you know that. They're all going to orbital hell, by the way. They're not going to hell of heaven. However, his anchors are staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Let's focus on his attack on Becker, actually, for the moment. So, a ton of anchors. Radar satellites, but there's no laser platforms whatsoever from him. Also, another thing I'd like to point out. He has not actually planned out a secondary strategy if this all fails. Which is terrible. Also, may I add, because he doesn't have any laser platforms with him, that he has no way to attack his commander. However, here's something that I've actually realized from Burnt Custard's base. Where's his own anchors? Why are there so little of them? I mean, all these Avengers and Orbital Fabricators are going to die, and oh, wow, they all did die. Okay, so the Orbital Fabricator production from Burnt Custard has been completely destroyed. His Avenger fleets have been annihilated, and only half of his Orbital Fabricators remain. Wow. If only laser platforms were with Merit 4's army, well, not army, but orbital force, then he would have been able to destroy the space. And are you serious? You're bringing the commander to the main planet? Are you crazy? Oh, now you're bringing the laser platform. Okay, good. But so late. Why so late? This is so weird. This is sort of a race against time, as now I guess Merit 4 realizes it's too late for Orb, so he's, I mean, not too late for Orb, but too late for his base or his forces to really destroy Burnt Custard right now. So instead he's moving all of his orbital units in a last-ditch effort to kill Becker. Which is sort of working, but he has no laser platform to speak of. Right now he is moving back his orbital units in a, what I presume to be a last-ditch effort to attack the base. But I'm not sure why he didn't send them in earlier. Maybe it was like a movement sort of system, like he didn't move them in at the same time correctly, so now they're sort of spaced out. I guess I now see the full genius of his plan. But he missed a golden opportunity to really execute it. On top of that, he should have been really focusing on the moon. Even though he could actually win this, I strongly believe he should have been focusing on the moon. However, now that Burnt Custard has all the Halleys ready, there's no point. No point whatsoever. For Merit 4 to actually fight. Oh well. Hey, on the bright side, let's focus on this side of the planet so that we can look at the pretty explosion. And let's also focus on Orange's side to see the attack of Blue. The last-ditch effort Blue will have against Orange. I guess the commander is being sent here to prolong this game, but I don't know. This is really dodgy. Orange's defenses aren't nearly as massive as he would like them to be, and I can understand why. There's gaps over here, gaps over here, gaps over here. So if Merit 4 could concentrate his focus on just the commander, he could win this. There's just a fleet of advanced fabrication aircraft just waiting with this commander right now, though. And his orbital units went to the edge of Burnt Custard's base. This is crazy. Okay, so he's going to build a bunch of anchors, and he's going to build up an amazing force, but at the same time not focusing on where it counts, which is over here. So now the commander is surrounded by all these advanced fabrication aircraft that can heal up any injury he gets, and on top of that, he has a bunch of anchors protecting him. This is crazy. However, Burnt Custard really can't kill Merit 4, considering that Merit 4, 1, is spamming out so many units because of his superior orbital production. And that end, right now he can't be on multiple places at the same time, so Merit 4 could kind of, and I do mean kind of with strong quotations, he could try to maybe sort of, I don't know, clear out a space for himself, which could work. The vain hope that maybe he can establish a foothold and then slowly and slowly encroach his way to Burnt Custard's base. And then Burnt Custard will have to flee back to the moon because there's just no way for him to survive on this planet. Could work. Could work. I mean, there's a lot of things that could work right now for Merit 4's and Burnt Custard's favor. This is just a very dicey game. And Merit 4 is continuously sending in orbital units, so Merit 4, if he's able to destroy these orbital factories, because Burnt Custard is completely filled up this base, he has really nowhere to build more orbital factories. So if he kills the already built orbital factories of Burnt Custard, then Merit 4 will actually beat him in orbital production. That is just weird. Japan, it's like they established Mexico and made it into like a massive mining town. And then afterwards went super crazy. Strangely enough, Burnt Custard's entire economy has went down the drain. Why is this? Why did his entire economy go down the drain? Why is he at 27% efficiency? What is he building? Is he focusing on orbital units a lot more? Combat medics. There we go. So now, Burnt Custard's economy, even though it was superior for a long time, in fact, massively superior to Merit 4's economy for a long time, is now suffering stagnation and decline, which is incredible. But all of his wealth, he wasn't able to stop Merit 4's construction. And Merit 4 is actually destroying his tier 2 structures as well. So, Merit 4 could actually kill Burnt Custard. Burnt Custard has everything to lose because of multiple different factors, including the fact that he only has one planet with eco. Whereas Merit 4 has nothing to lose because all of his eco is on one planet that is actually Haleyable. But Burnt Custard doesn't want to use his Haleyed moon for the sole purpose that if he does, this could render him basically vulnerable to Merit 4 completely controlling this planet over here, and thus having no fallback plan if this entire planet fails. So right now, this is really, really tense. Both players can win this. It's just a matter of who's going to make the stupid mistake first. And Burnt Custard is slowly losing time. He really, really is. Right now, he is sending in units to try and colonize Merit 4's base, but alas, Merit 4 did just too much orbital production. Strangely enough, nukes are being fired at Merit 4's home planet. So that's his game plan. Firing nukes to soften off Marineford's planet. Okay, let's see where they hit. They had an anti-nuke. I'm gonna laugh. They're gonna hit an anti-nuke. Yep, bye-bye. See you later, alligator and wild crocodile. Let's see how many nukes he has. Not a lot. Oh, he's building a lot more. So he's going to nuke Marineford's base. You see, this is actually going to be worse than planet smashing. The reason for that is because it's going to destroy his economy even more so. And with Marineford continuously destroying his economy already, that's going to mean that Marineford is going to be in a very strong position, more so than he already was originally. On top of this, I would like to add another thing. This will stop Burnt Custer from actually using his moon as a planet-smashing planet, and will make it into a moon base, thus stopping him from actually building any planet-smashing technology, stopping him from destroying Marineford's entire base using a planet smash, and, on top of that, stopping him from winning the game completely in one fell swoop. Both of these players have a noose around their neck. There's really nothing Burnt Custer can do that's the right answer, but there's nothing that Marineford can do that's the right answer. Right now, they're both in this situation because they've made the bad dealings and the bad sort of plans. But Burnt Custer's time is ticking. Marineford's time doesn't even matter anymore, because he can just rely on this sort of strategy, and it works. In fact, if he goes a step further and builds a teleporter, he's won. He's Burnt Custer planet smashing his own base? Burnt Custer? What are you doing? Oh my god! Oh my god! No, he didn't. So he just moved his planet into, the moon just moved into his planet and destroyed everything without leaving a trace behind. Was that him suiciding, or was that him losing because the planet just moved in and destroyed him like a lawnmower on grass? Well, whatever the case, GG to Marineford. Bye-bye, guys.